Hey, how's everyone doing today? It's Heisennburgg here. Today I thought I would show you guys how to install Vividian ENB. And as you can see in the title, it's you can use it for pretty much any of the popular weather mods out there. Climates of Tamriel, RCRN, Pure Weather and Natural Lighting and Atmospherics for ENB weathers. So yeah, for some reason this ENB in particular, a lot of people have difficulties installing it just because of, I don't know, it's just a lot different than most ENB installations. It's kind of like Real Vision installation, because this is one of the only ENBs that you have to download with Manager as far as the ENB files go. But yeah, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to head over to the Vividian ENB page, and I'll put a link for you in the description so you can just click that. And we're going to scroll down until we see the installation part, basic installation. And number 1 says it uses the latest ENB binaries. So we're going to right click on the latest ENB, and we're going to open link in new tab. And it's going to direct us to the ENB dev page. And we're going to click on the 266 binaries, and we're going to scroll to the bottom, and we're going to click the download arrow. And it's going to start downloading. And yeah, you're going to need WinRAR or 7-zip in order to extract the archive for the binary. So as you can see, I'm using WinRAR. 7-zip is free, and WinRAR uses a 45-day trial, but after the trial runs out, it's still free. So once you get your pop-up like this, you can go ahead and hit backspace, and you can drag and drop the archive onto your desktop, and you can just leave that there, and we'll come back to that in just a second. So then you can X out of the ENB dev because we're done with that. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll back to the top of the page, and we're going to click the Files tab. And under Main Files, you can see that it has a couple different, it has the Vivid version and the Vanilla version. I'm going to be using the Vivid version because I like a little more color in my ENBs. But if you wanted to use the vanilla, version, you could, the process is the exact same. You would just download it with Manager. And it has extended weathers down here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not really sure what that's for, but so yeah, whichever version you're deciding to download, go ahead and hit download with Manager and click continue with my download. And I already had one installed, but I'm just going to show you guys how to do everything just so people don't get confused. And we're going to go ahead and wait for that to download, so because my internet's slow. So while we're waiting for that to download, what we're going to do now is we're going to locate our Skyrim folder so we can put our binary files in our Skyrim folder. So if you have an icon on your desktop, an easy way to find it is you can right click your icon and you can click open file location, and this is your Skyrim folder where Skyrim Launcher and TESV are. That's your Skyrim folder. Just make sure you're not in your data subfolder. So yeah, but if you don't have an icon on your desktop, it's more than likely going to be under It's going to more than likely be under Program Files 86. Basically wherever you have Steam installed. So Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim. So yeah, so once you locate your Skyrim folder, remember that binary file that we had, the archive? Well, this step is completely optional, but I would prefer it if you did do it this way because it just makes things a lot easier for you. So go ahead and right click your archive and click extract to ENB series Skyrim 266. And what that's basically going to do is it's going to put your archive as a folder, so you can delete your archive if you decided to do that step. And we're going to open it up, and you're going to click the wrapper version. Now, I'm not really familiar with Injector version installations, so if you have issues with the wrapper version, you can try and find tutorials on YouTube on how to do Injector version installations. But 99% of people are typically going to be using the wrapper version. So go ahead and open that up. and we're only going to be copying 2 files out of here. So copy the d3d9.dll file and the enbhost.exe file, and we're going to copy those, and we're going to paste them into our Skyrim folder. And then we're going to close out of the binary file, and we can delete that because we're not really going to need any files out of there anymore. And then the next step we're going to do is we're going to go back to your mod manager and go ahead and activate your Vividian ENB faux mod, and in about 5 or 10 seconds you're going to get a faux mod menu, which basically is going to give you a bunch of options for the installation. And I'll go over that with you. Okay, so the ENB lighting options, you know, all of this is optional. I always do normal lighting with no change because I don't like my lighting to be messed with. And then ENB main files, this is pretty important that you choose the right one. I'm going to choose the high quality version because I have a rig that can handle it. But the performance version is right here, and then just the normal version is the default. So go ahead and choose whichever one your system is compatible for, and then go ahead and click next. And then it's going to give you some more options right here. You would go ahead and choose whatever mod you're using with this. I'm using ELFX and Climates of Tamriel with it. So I'm just going to do the Skyrim module. And I'm going to leave these blank because I'm not using any of these. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose Legendary for ELE Light. And then ELE Old Fallback, you can pretty much leave all these blank. You can read all these descriptions up here and it'll tell you why you would need to use them. So I'm going to leave these blank, and then I'm going to click Next. And then you have your all these different depth of fields. I'm just going to leave mine as the default. And then under ENB optional files, check ENBLOCAL.INI file. And you can check this if you want, but it drains about 2 FPS. And then this is also performance costing, and this is the support files. You can check that if you want, but I'm only going to check the ENBLOCAL.INI file. And then I'm going to click Next. And then make sure you check MindFlux particle patch and the subsurface scattering patch, because these just make the ENB like a lot better. So, and then textures and fixes, go ahead and check mark that, the remove sun glare. And then if you're using Warburg's 3D map, go ahead and check that, and then click Next. And then I usually leave all of these unchecked because whenever I check mark them, I tend to have issues with crashing. But if you want to check mark them, you can. It basically just replaces the vanilla textures and replaces them with ENB textures. So again, I'm going to leave these blank, but you can mess around with them if you want to. So click Next. And then if you have any of the mods listed up here, you could check mark whatever ones that you whichever ones you have to use it for the patch, but I don't have any of these, so I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And then I'm only using the Climates of Tamriel weather patch. I'm not using expanded snow systems or supreme storms right now, but if you did, you would more than likely check mark the bottom one because people tend to use both of them in unison. So, or if you're just using vanilla weather, you would just check mark that. So go ahead and click Next. And then check mark yes, I have read the description, and then click Finish. And it's going to ask you stuff to overwrite. I just click yes to all because I haven't noticed any problems. Alright, so now what we're going to do, now this is usually a little different from the typical ENB installation. So in order to find the ENB files that we need to put in our Skyrim folder, we're going to click the data folder, which is located in your Skyrim folder, the place where you drag the files from the binary. So click Data, and then underneath you're going to see all these files, and then at the bottom you're going to see Vividian ENB install files. Go ahead and click that, and you're going to see all these files in here, and what you're going to do is you're going to copy all of them, and then go back to your Skyrim folder, and then paste them in there. And the ENB is pretty much installed now, but we're going to go ahead and tweak some ENBLOCAL.INI settings, which is one of the files that we just copied and pasted out of the Vividian folder. So go ahead and open up the local ENB folder, and we're going to tweak the video memory size MB, and reserved memory size MB. Now, reserved memory size MB, I always put mine at 512, but, yeah, it tells you what it's for right here. And then, video memory size MB is how much VRAM your system has. Now, I have 3 gigabytes, so 3072 would be the one for 3 gigabytes, but if you don't know how much you have, you can go ahead and Google it. And, yeah, you can tweak some other stuff in here if you want to, but I typically just mess with these two. So once you change those to configure to your system, go up to File, Save, and we can pretty much go in game now. Wait, hold on a second. Oh yeah, we have to tweak some INI settings. I can't believe I forgot that. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to tweak some INI settings, and to get to your Skyrim prefs.ini, you would click My Documents, My Games, and Skyrim, and then you can see Skyrim.ini and Skyrim prefs.ini, but if you don't see the .ini right there, don't worry about it. Your operating system just hides file extensions. So we're going to open up our Skyrim prefs, and the first setting we have to tweak is bfloat point render target. So easy way to do this is Control-C to copy it, and then go back to your Notepad, Control-F to find it, and then Control-V to paste it. And as you can see, mine already equals 1, so I can just leave it be. And then the next one, B trees receive shadows, Control-C, Control-F, Control-V. And mine's already at 1, so let's go to the next one. Control-C, Control-F, and Control-V. And mine's already at 1. Control-C, Control-F, Control-V. Not really sure why mine has 2 of them, but Control-C, Control-F, Control-V. Okay. And F gamma equals 1. Control-C, Control-F, and Control-V. Okay, so mine equals 1.24, so I gotta change it. And, these two settings right here, the eye multi-sample and the transparency multi-sampling, you can change that in the Skyrim launcher, but, I guess I can just show you how to do it here to save a couple minutes in the video. So Control-C, Control-F, Control-V. Control-C, Control-F, Control-V. Alright, so all the INI settings are tweaked, but real quick, I'm just going to show you guys how to turn off your anti-aliasing for the people that don't know how. So go ahead and get to your Skyrim folder and click on the Skyrim launcher. And then click Options. And anti-aliasing should be set to off, and your AF should be set to off as well. So if they're not, make sure they're off, because the ENB will not look like how it's supposed to look. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to go ahead and run loot since I had to mess with my load order. So if you had to mess with your load order, go ahead and run loot. And then we're going to go ahead and go in game, so I can show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so let's go in game. Alright, so if you get this message in your top left-hand corner, that pretty much tells you that you installed your binary files correctly. So that's a good sign. And if you press Shift-Enter, it brings up this GUI menu right here, and you can tweak the ENB further if you wanted to, for performance reasons or for personal preference, and press Shift-Enter to get out of it. And if you press the star key on your number pad, it'll bring up your frames per second. But I'm going to go ahead and go in game real quick to show you that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, in the top left you can see that it's 32 frames per second, and I also have my fraps counter in the top right, so that's really kind of useless, but for the people that don't have a frames per second counter, that's a cool way to turn one on, but it only works if you have an ENB installed. Alright, so right now I'm in Dragon's Reach. As you can see, it actually looks pretty good in here. If you press Shift F12, it goes back to vanilla. And as you can see, it's a pretty big difference from the ENB to vanilla Skyrim. So if I press Shift F12 again, it'll put me back in the ENB. And I'm just going to go ahead and go outside, just to show you guys what it looks like outside. Alright, so we're outside and the game's looking pretty good. So this is what Vividian ENB looks like, and personally this is one of my favorites. I've always really liked how this one looks. If you bring up your console menu and you type FW81A, it'll make the weather sunny. So that's a cool trick if your weather was raining or something. But yeah, guys, this is what Vividian ENB looks like, and again, I'll do a comparison real quick. Shift F12. This is vanilla Skyrim, and then Shift F12 again. This is the ENB. So yeah, that's how you download and install Vividian ENB. And if for some reason you had any issues following my tutorial, or if something just went wrong for you, go ahead and leave me a comment or send me a message privately, and I will try to help you in the best way that I can. I am determined to help you get this ENB up and running, so don't be afraid to ask. I will even personally try to help you myself, like as far as like if you really can't get the ENB installed, I know a program called TeamViewer. I could help you get it installed that way. It basically lets me into your computer with you watching it, of course. I could help you that way if you were really having that many problems, but I know some people get paranoid about other people being on their computer, so. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop babbling. Again, this is Vividian ENB installation, and go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and you can dislike it if you didn't like it. It's all good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, and if you have any other ENBs that you would like me to show you how to install, just leave a comment or send me a message, and I will most definitely make the video for you. So yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.